Hello YouTube, I've got another high ELO, well, ranked team game here with a couple high ELO players, and the teams are going to be Shen, Fizz, Hecarim, Ezreal, Pantheon versus Vladimir, Thresh, Varus, Karthus, and Elise. And the teams are going to be Team TsoloQ, TsoloQ versus GGU, Good Game University. So it looks like the lane matchups are going to be Hecarim versus Elise in the jungle. At top lane, it's going to be Shen versus Vladimir. At mid, it's going to be Fizz versus Karthus. And at bottom lane, it's going to be Thresh and Varus versus Ezreal and Pantheon. So we got a kill lane, it looks like, at the bottom lane with the Ezreal Pantheon. So we'll see how this goes. Without further ado, let's get this party started. Woot woot. So we'll try and match these up as best as possible so we can more readily compare the various lanes. So that should do it. And it looks like we're going to get this party started. Let's take a quick look at what everybody's building. Shen here for the blue team is starting with, looks like he's running like a 9-0. I'm sorry. It's messing with it here. So it looks like he's running 9-0-21 with some spell pen runes. Oh, we're going to see an engage here. Whoop, we're going to back it up so we can see that. Sorry, I was trying to figure it out. It looks like Hecarim gets caught in the open. Drops that ward. Oh man, he just wasn't paying attention. Didn't see the ward placement. Gets just absolutely locked up, and down he goes. That's rough. Absolutely rough. And that's going to provide a very nice advantage here for this purple team. It's starting it off with a nice little 700 gold advantage, 400 for that kill, and then another like 300 for those assists. So nice little play there. So let's finish up looking at these. At what these characters are building. It looks like Fizz is running hybrid penetration. Looks like he's running some sort of like 30. It could be 2109 or 2190. It's really hard to tell. He does have cooldown reduction, no spell vamp, so he's probably he's running dual penetration. So he's got some sort of hybrid stuff going on here, and so that's kind of interesting. Hecarim running just armor pen runes. It looks like. It looks like he's going like 0.21.9 or something along those lines, just because he doesn't have that percent armor pen. And it looks like Ezreal running standard AD stuff, not getting the CDR, but instead going for the attack speed, it looks like. And Pantheon going at probably 9.0.21, I'd guess, but it could be 21.09. I'm not quite sure. With his... It's really hard to gauge. So let's take a quick look at the purple team for Vladimir running Magic Pen with 9% CDR here at level 1. Thresh running no penetration, so he's going a really tanky supporty build. You know, that's pretty standard. And it looks like we're seeing the AD carry support at mid lane. Interesting. Varus is running attack speed, armor 2109, 219, something along those lines with the AD rune masteries. Karthus looks like he's running very standard 2109 probably. And it looks like finally Elise is got a little bit of magic pen, and she does have some spell vamps, so she's a fair way into that utility tree. So kind of interesting here what's going on with the lanes. It looks like Ezreal and Pantheon is going to be a kill lane at top. We've got Fizz and Vladimir at bottom, and that's good because Fizz is kind of he's a little destructive to Vladimir, but just because he has that anti-healing. And then we've got the kill lane here that looks like they're doing a good job here of zoning this Shen. We're going to keep it matched up the way it is because I think it's going to be the easiest way to compare this, even though I think I'm going to swap Karthus with Shen so we can compare those two, because that's going to be the two solo versus duo lanes compared. So should be fairly readable. As far as starting items, everybody's going very standard. The only kind of mild note is Fizz is running that Elixir of Fortitude, so he does have that instant heal. But other than that first blood, this game has been pretty tame, except for the weird positioning here of these lanes. And it looks like here comes the Elise gank, with the stun, and Ezreal manages to arcane shift away there before taking really any damage whatsoever. And it looks like Elise is going to be trying to camp top as much as possible. Hecarim does get revealed there at that bottom lane, so Vladimir is aware that this Hecarim exists. And I'm not quite sure what those pings mean, but... And it looks like for farming so far, purple team does have a slight advantage. Karthus is doing a good job of farming underneath the tower there, since he is kind of going up against that Ezreal. He hasn't really missed too much, and Shen is probably just having the worst time farming versus Varus. Varus's range poke and Thresh's threat of the pull is super scary there when you're in a solo versus a duo lane. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see some lane swaps here, like the AD carry Pantheon decide to go to mid, and Shen swaps to top, but we'll see how it goes. Varus doing some nice poke there on the Shen, and that's going to prevent him from getting too much farm. He might have to go back here and have the Hecarim, but here comes a gank here at top lane. Let's see what happens. Nice little stun going down on the Elise. She whiffs the stun, doing some pretty nice damage there to the Pantheon, but manages to avoid the Heartseeker strike, and a lot of damage going on the Pantheon. So it looks like Thresh was thinking about coming up there to join, but doesn't manage to do so. Decides to head back towards his lane, and it looks like this will force Elise to go back. And now Karthus has a little bit of a foothold, but he is so that's a little rough for him. Mind you, he does have that passive there on his W that does provide mana every time he gets the kill. Not his W, his E. But Thresh manages to land the pull there at mid lane, allowing Varus to do a little bit of poke. But Varus, Shen has some pretty nice tankiness already this early in the game, just because he does have that Dorn Shield and does have that passive where it reduces 6 damage from basic auto attacks, which will be relevant versus the Varus there. Plus, with his feint, that'll make him actually fairly tanky. And it looks like Vladimir's trying to do what he can here to farm underneath the turret. Looks like he's doing alright. He is a little bit behind that Fizz, but nothing crazy relevant. And Fizz is headed back, so this should give him a little bit of a moment of breather here to come back up on that farm. So Varus is slightly out farming that Ezreal, and it looks like this Hecarim is going to be the weak link here for the blue team, but we shall see. That early first blood, him not paying attention and not seeing that ward, as soon as that ward dropped, he should have bolted. Like, he should have just ran. But unfortunately, we might have been looking at item builds, might have been looking at something else, chatting, I'm not quite sure, but unfortunately, that mistake hopefully doesn't cost them the game, but sometimes that happens. Like, giving up first bloods like that gives one of the lanes a significant enough advantage and puts you at a significant enough disadvantage where it can spiral out of control. Mind you, this is not all of these players are super high ELO. There are a couple high ELO people in here. ZionSpartan, the Vladimir, is one of those high ELO people, and I think I recognize Haruka. Haruka is another one, and NintendudeX, and Jintae. We actually have a lot of them. I recognize a lot of people here. So, and it looks like we're starting to see some of those lane swaps. It looks like they're going to send Vladimir versus the Shen. Karthus is going to stick it out at top lane. It looks like they're sending their standard AD carry and support down at bottom lane there to rival the Fizz. And it looks like, are we going to see another lane swap here, or is Fizz going to try and do some sort of gank here? Yep. There's the lane swap. They're going to put Shen versus the duo lane, just because Fizz is not going to be able to handle the ranged poke nearly as well. Nice damage there going down on the Pantheon. Elise manages to cut the distance, but a nice little stun there, and the Heartseeker strike, the Aegis there is going to manage to save him, at least for now. And there's a Karthus ult preventing them from going back. Vladimir coming in from the side, and down goes Ezreal. Woof. Just gets melted there from that Karthus ult and that Vladimir, and nice little team play there. I didn't even see that Vladimir came from mid all the way to gank from the side. That was just well done, managing to delay that for as long as possible. And then that Vladimir ult going down on the Hecarim will do a significant amount of damage, but manages to pull away from that Hecarim fear, so Hecarim is unable to sate his vengeance that he so desperately desires, I'm sure. So as far as farm goes, Varus is starting to get very far ahead of this Ezreal, and that's the two that we should really be comparing. Fizz is a little bit ahead of this Vladimir, and Karthus is way ahead of Shen. Way ahead. And Hecarim's doing a good job farming in the jungle, but you gotta remember, Elise has been participating in kills, so she does have that 2 assists, so she is still slightly behind that gold over that Hecarim, but she is showing lane presence, so she is helping her team quite substantially. So, and as far as these items that we're getting early, it looks like Vladimir decided to go with the Hextech Revolver there for that additional sustain. Karthus going for that Catalyst, so he's got quite a bit of lane sustain now. And yeah, Varus going for the pickaxe. Usually you don't see that. Usually you see, but he hasn't had to deal with too much with the poke on him. But Thresh has been doing a good job of supporting and taking a lot of damage. And it looks like I don't think blue team is aware of this. Nope. And I think purple team is going to get this dragon uncontested. Wowza, that sucks. But blue team, in the meantime, did manage to get that top turret. So it is a top turret for a dragon. It's roughly an even trade. The dragon is probably a little bit more substantial, but just because that's on a timer, and the turrets you can get at any time. But Karthus is doing what he can here to defend his turret. And it looks like blue team is going to get this bottom turret and as a counter response. So purple team will have a nice like little 2.5k gold advantage, it looks like. And down it goes, giving it that 2.3k gold advantage that I tried to predict there. Fizz trying to do some pretty nasty ganks here, but beautiful Elise comes over the wall there, does an incredible amount of damage, but in comes the Ezreal, and a beautiful flash over the wall, and the Pantheon was going to drop in, but it looks like he aborted that because he realized, oh crap, there could be a whole team there. So, wow, really nice positioning there. Elise doing the nice jump over the wall to save that Vladimir, and then flash back over the wall when it realized that it was getting too hot for her. So, nice little play there. Fizz going for that early spell pen means he's going to be doing quite considerable damage to anybody that's doesn't have any considerable amount of MR, and nobody's got any MR so far. And that Fizz got brought incredibly low there, so he's got to be a little bit careful. Varus can be a little scary sometimes, sniping people left and right. Hide your kids, hide your wife. But looks like purple team is going to be trying to four-man push this mid turret here, and it looks like they are going to be able to succeed in taking this, just because Varus does have that range, and it looks like down goes this middle turret. Well, bringing that gold advantage to a nice healthy 3k in purple team's favor. So having that one turret up plus that dragon plus the 2 kills is pretty substantial at this early stage in the game. So it looks like Thresh decided to rush that Sightstone while Pantheon decided to go with the Mana Moon. Well, not the Mana Moon, but the Tear of the Goddess. Probably build that into a Mana Moon unless he's deciding to go AP Panth, and then I will facepalm so very hard. So very hard. But he will be going with that Mana Moon, Mirror Mana Moon, whatever you want to call it. Probably here in a little while, just so he has a little bit of damage, but unfortunately he's not getting the kills that he needs in order to really sustain this kill lane, so Pantheon is probably going to be kind of crap here at this mid stage, and that's where Pantheon usually shines. His early game poke there with his Q and his ability to counter damage with his Aegis is pretty brutal at early game, and if you can't take advantage of it, can't really do it nearly as well near the middle and end game, even though he does have very powerful ganking ability with his drops. But you gotta remember, he's just not getting that farm or that CS that he really needs. And nice little slow there, but Thresh whiffs the ultimate, and I think this Ezreal should be able to get away, but the Requiem is going to be able to pick up the kill, but Thresh manages to snipe that kill before the Requiem follows through. Elise coming in from the side, but there's the Fizz as well, and I think down goes the Thresh. Womp womp. And it looks like Varus got picked up there at the top turret as well. So nice little counterattack there from the blue team. Nice little counterattack. So blue team should be able to push a little bit here. They might go for the second tier 2 turret here, but I doubt it. It looks like they're just going to head back, try and get a little bit of an advantage going on here. It looks like Karthus is pushing away at this mid turret. Push, push, push. It's the name of the game. He is one of the better AP pushers in the game just because he can do he can clear minion waves so very easily, and if he gets Lichbane, he does incredible damage to turrets. Incredible. So, yeah. And now things have gotten a little quiet. It looks like Fizz is going to be getting that Zhonya's next. Getting that Seeker's Arm Guard here is going to provide him with a little bit more prevention of damage here from the, specifically the Varus. But, they're a lot of magic damage, but I think he's just mainly getting it for that Zhonya's invulnerability. So Varus going for that quick IE, it looks like, and Ezreal got that pickaxe, but he does have a little bit of sustain too as well. So we'll see how this goes. Blue team does have a slight disadvantage, but they do have an incredible amount of burst here and an ability to capitalize on people getting caught out of position. Thresh does have a very good chance of being able to catch people out of position with his pull and his slow and his knockback and all that stuff. Like, he is very good at capitalizing on that. Same with Elise, but blue team just has incredible burst here with the Pantheon and Fizz. Fizz is one of the best bursters in the game, in my opinion, just because, like, if he gets a Deathfire, it's just, he can, like, two-shot people. It's pretty incredible. But so far, no magic resist for either team, really, which is surprising to me. Because both the teams are relatively AP heavy. Like, I guess blue team is a little bit more AD heavy, but that Fizz, he's going to be a little scary here because there is no magic resist, and he is going that pretty heavy spell pen because he did rush those Sork boots. So nice little taunt there on the Vladimir. Vladimir is, there's no way in hell he's getting away from this. There's the pool, but Thresh manages to fear him and pick him up with a nice little spin to win. And here comes the Elise from behind, but it looks like she's gonna be forced back here just because she was a little late to the party. And now we've got that gold advantage is only about 2k, well, 2.5k in purple team's favor. So, and it looks like Dragon should be coming up here relatively soon. So we'll probably see a Dragon fight here. Maybe, hopefully, blue team will actually play some wards this time. Ho ho ho! See what I did there? Doing judgments. Anyway. So Vladimir did decide to go with that Spirit of the Spectral Wraith so he can clear waves a little bit more. Still gives that sustain and a little bit of CDR. So it is an item that he definitely enjoys quite thoroughly. And it looks like Hecarim getting that Spirit of the Elder Lizard will provide for a substantial amount of sustained damage there with that true damage that he does get from that. It looks like purple team is going to go for another uncontested Dragon. Oh dear. Blue team, you can't do this. You can't let purple team get free dragons here. You need to ward. Oh my god. Right now, if purple team wins this, it's going to be because they've gotten two, like, these uncontested dragons. They've had sheer dominance over the dragon, which provides so much gold over, like, sustained periods, like, if this happens, like, on a repeated basis. But we'll see. Maybe blue team will start contesting these vital goals here of this game. So, but I don't know. Karthus does have that Rod of the Ages now, so he is starting to accumulate that passive. So he is going to be pretty substantially more tanky now. And we'll see what he gets next. It's probably either Hat or maybe he'll get... I think it's a little late to be getting Tier, but I would expect it's either Hat or Zhonya's to be his next item. But we'll see. We shall see. And here comes the crazy movement speed. Hecarim manages to pick up the kill there on the Varus. What is going on with the warding this game? It is just atrocious. Look at this warding. Blue team has wards near Baron, and that's it. And purple team has two wards on the red side of blue team. That's just... this warding makes me cringe. And Thresh has a Sightstone. Why isn't he dropping his Sightstone? Like, okay, we got some more wards on the map now. Okay, so they're starting to learn from their mistakes, but we need more wards, guys. Come on. It's just, wards are so very important in this game. Providing vision and knowing when ganks are going to happen. Nice flash exhaust there from the Karthus, and he might be able to get away from this. We shall see. There's the Shen ult, and down goes the Karthus. He's going to drop an ult here, but I don't think it's going to be enough to pick up any kills, and blue team's going to decide to 3-man push here on this mid turret, try and put some pressure on. Just because Vladimir is just farming away at that bottom turret. Farm. Elise manages to cut the distance to Shen. He taunts away and flashes, and it looks like he is going to be able to get away, and blue team in the meanwhile manages to get that mid turret. And now Vladimir is still pushing away at this bottom turret, but I think he's going to decide to head back here just so he doesn't get like raffle stomped once again by this Hecarim. Oh god! Oh god. Okay, good. Because I think Hecarim can take the Vladimir in a fight, but we shall see. Like, the sustained damage from Spirit of the Elder Lizard is going to be a problem just because that will continue to tick there even while Vladimir is pooled and whatnot. So, little dangerous. So, looks like Vladimir's going for that Ionian Boots of Lucidity, so he is going to have quite a bit of CDR. Varus finally getting that Infinity Edge, and it looks like Ezreal is not too far behind him on getting his own Infinity Edge. That's actually pretty substantial. He's still got like 1,000 gold to go yet, so... Well, I guess it's only 1,200, but hey, he'll get there when he gets there. Varus is one of those AD carriers that I really enjoy. I'm not very good with him. I really enjoy him. Quinn is another one that I absolutely enjoy, and I have actually played some pretty decent games with her. She is really fun to play. But Zach is definitely a hoot, a holler, and a half to play. God, I love playing that man. Well, Glob, whatever you want to call him. But, yeah, pretty calm here at this mid game. Looks like we're just seeing a 5-man push here on this mid turret. Blue team is probably going to come in and try and defend this a little bit, but Shen is meanwhile pushing away at this bottom turret while this purple team is trying to siege this mid turret. pushing at it, putting on a little bit of damage. Thresh, Varus, Elise, all doing some really nice poke here. And we'll see if blue team is going to actually force engage here. Shen can ult it. Oh, no, he can't. His ult's still on cooldown. Elise gets caught a little bit out of position. And it looks like she is going to take some considerable amount of damage, but that Thresh drops a nice ult. Varus manages to pick up the Pantheon, and Vladimir manages to pick up the Fizz. Karthus hasn't even gone down yet, and he's so low. And I think Shen is going to go down as well. Forced to ult in there, and Hecarim forced to run, and this is going to be an inhib, I think. Yeesh. That's rough. Hecarim forcing a fight he shouldn't have, apparently. Keeping his backline exposed is it's a little rough, and it looks like purple team is going to get this inhib, and this is going to be really rough. This is a pretty early inhib, and these super minions are going to be super relevant. See what I did there? Nah, totally unintentional, but these super minions are going to be very relevant. And here comes the Pantheon drop. Manages to stun the Varus, but he cleanse flashes out of it beautifully, and Pantheon is going to get dropped here, I think. Oh, nice Shen ult. Oh, Shen teleported into that previous fight. My bad. I was like, did he just ult twice in like 30 seconds? Ezreal throwing down the ult here. It looks like purple team overstayed their welcome just a little bit here, but Vladimir is the one that they got to worry about. Elise does a nice repel over the wall, and that should give her a little bit of room to escape, and it looks like Vladimir is going to be able to get away, and I think Elise is so very dead. Trying to like juke this Fizz. She's ticking, but he manages to cut the distance. We're going to back it up so we can see the Elise the Pantheon getting picked up here. I'm sorry. I could not find Pantheon for the life of me. Oh, what are you doing? Just staying that low. Oh, and he just gets pulled over the bush. Too funny. Too funny. Well, I'm glad I backed up for that awesome display of skill. Twice. Anyway, the game goes on, and it looks like Varus is going to have this Phantom Dancer here relatively soon, and it looks like Ezreal is slowly working his way towards that Infinity Edge, but still doesn't quite have it. Oh, there it is. Boom. So now he'll have some considerably more damage, but he is a little bit late to the game there on getting that Infinity Edge. He is 1,400 gold behind this Varus, and this Varus is going to start to be pretty scary here, because he's at that point where he starts doing incredible damage. Incredible sustained damage. And Karthus is starting to get to that endgame point. Almost got his hat, which means if he goes down in the fight, if he goes down early, that's not going to do anything to stop the damage from getting dished out. So looks like he's going to decide to get that blue and then head towards his lane. And looks like we've decided to tame it out a little bit, but blue team is forced to deal with these super minions, and this is what I'm talking about. This forcing two people to have to defend, and it looks like purple team. Blue, where are your wards? Come on, man, you can't. Oh my god. Where are the wards, blue team? Not a single ward have I seen on Dragon this entire game, but I could be wrong. I'm just so very disappointed. Like right now, the reason, in my opinion, the reason why blue team is losing this game, or at least from a gold perspective, is these dragons. That's the only reason they're so far behind, is these dragons are providing so much gold. And this is the reason you have a jungler with smite, so you can contest the dragons. That is one of the main goals of the jungler. But right now we're just not seeing the ward placement that we need. And that's another reason why Shen has teleport. Shen should be top lane so he can teleport in, and so you can have the 5-man engage. And holy crap, they're going for Baron. And they get it. Oh my god. Really? Well, that's, I'm not going to say it's game, but that's so bad. Oh, blue team. Shooting yourself in the foot. Learn to ward. Learn to ward properly. It's going to be the downfall of them this game. So it looks like purple team is now going to 5-man siege these turrets here. Just pushing, abusing that regen and sustain from the Baron buff and increased damage. And they're going to be able to pick up 2 turrets, it looks like here. They might even be able to pick up an inhib, and Hecarim is forced to stay on that mid lane to try and prevent it from making the other lanes push. But oh my gosh, this is so bad for blue team. So bad. This makes me sad. And it looks like purple team's going to get this third turret down, and I think that's going to be a second inhib, and blue team is just in a world of hurt right now. Pantheon is going to drop in. Don't do it, Pantheon. Oh my god. They might be able to pick up Varus here, but oh. Forcing engages, they shouldn't. Shen manages to pick up the Varus, but that's 2 for 1. And there's the Requiem from Karthus. Gonna do some pretty considerable damage here to blue team. And down goes the Fizz! And Ezreal is gonna go down here as well. This is gonna be a second inhib, almost guaranteed. And it's almost an ace. Shen manages to get away with just a sliver of health, and this is gonna be the game. Wow, this game. Blah. Bad taste in my mouth. Just because it's entirely lost on the fact that blue team did not ward. This is a lesson for you all. You need to ward. You need to ward. And if you're going to play weird supports like Pantheon, you need to get kills. Like, just not played very well at all. Anyway, I hope you guys did enjoy it. If you did like what you see, please comment down in the comment section below. Hit that like button, favorite, subscribe. You know the drill. And I'd like to thank you one more time for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.